So today I'm looking at places that were centres of power at one point or another. Behind me is the castle of Arenberg, not actually part of our village, but nonetheless the Duke of Arenberg was the major landowner in these parts, one of the biggest landowners in Belgium in fact. And this was the home of the Arenberg family, before them the De Croy family, from the Middle Ages until the First World War. During the First World War, the entire possessions of the Arenbergs were confiscated, or at least removed from them by the Belgian state, on the grounds that they were Germans, and it was a fair cop. And the Duke at the time was actually an officer in the German army, and also a member of the Reichstag, representing the Centre Party, which was the sort of moderate Catholic party within the German Reich. So the Castle of Arenberg is now part of Leuven University, and this rather lovely park that it's situated in is part of the university grounds and surrounded by buildings, some of which are modern, some of which are less modern, all of which have become now part of the university faculty with laboratories and that kind of thing. The Duke himself, the current Duke, actually keeps an eye on things, and I bumped into him a couple of years ago when he was in Leuven. This was the site of a hunting lodge built by the Harcourt family, a Norman family who are also, of course, related to Harcourt Street in Dublin, when they happened to control this particular patch of land. Later on, it became the place from which the Arenbergs would keep an eye on what was happening in this particular part of their dominions. The medieval hunting lodge was, of course, torn down and replaced by the building behind me in the mid-19th century, which actually looks quite pleasant. Moving from aristocratic to civic power, behind me is the town hall, which was the centre of village administration until it was merged with 4 other nearby villages in 1976. When we first moved here in 2001, this was actually a local library, which was very handy. Unfortunately, that's now been shifted, and it's now a sort of cultural centre, occasional music school. And behind that again, you can just about see the village school, which our son went to for a few years. These days, municipal administration happens from the 2 buildings behind me, which is where the commune sits, uniting the 5 villages that used to be separate. When we first moved here in 2001, the mayor had been in office since 1976. He eventually lost his bid for a 7th 6-year term in the elections of 2012. And in the elections of 2018, one of the political parties lost one of its seats on the council by a margin of only 3 votes. This place has only got about 10,000 inhabitants, and about 8,000 of them are voters. And with 90 candidates on the ballot paper, it meant that more than 1% of the population was standing for election. It's quite nice to be in a place where politics actually comes right up close.